Hey, what's good with the YouTube? This is your boy Rojo. It's the Rojo Room, man. Today, what we're going to talk about is prison today. And we're going to talk about it because in my time, it was vastly different. Now, let's take a few examples, man. Talk to one of my boys. He's in Vacaville. Now, Vacaville is non designated, SNY type of prison. Some of it's straight one way, some of it's 50-50, whatever. There's actives, extremely active actives there, sharing the same yard with 50-50s. What causes this is these gentlemen that are there that are active are aligned with the feds. If they went anywhere else, they would have issues with the state faction. Man, that's so weird. Because in my time, you could never share a yard with an inactive DO, degenerate, defector, whatever you want to call it, or any kind of weird predator type people. Now that's a trip, right? Also, what I find really weird is that CDC is trying to reintegrate 50-50s and those not given an exclusive PC type of chrono. Because for one, that is contributing to assaults, batteries, murders, slicing, stabbings, etc. They made such a big push back in the days about establishing these places for these people to go to that would be victimized. Now, why are they in such a hurry to get them out of there? Doesn't make sense. And what really fascinates me the most is after the end of hostilities, man. Okay, before the end of hostilities, it was very respectful between the big homies. You know what I mean? Or anybody in the shoe, really, whether they were big homies from the north, south, whatever. There was an extreme level of respect, which bordered on, almost friendliness. Hey, Rojo, you need anything from the tienda? Mexican Mafia dude asked me that. Likewise, Rojo, you want to play chess? Mexican Mafia dude. You know what I'm saying? So there was always, in my time, now I can't speak, before me, you know what I mean? We'll count my era from 94 on. The things that's happening now is crazy to me, bro. In all fairness, the North and the South, directed by the big homies, obviously, from each location, are working together and coexisting and making money together. And pretty soon, they're going to be riding together because if they start mass transporting Northern Riders, Deuce Fibers, and other similar type organizations into active strongholds, which they'd be crazy to do, they're going to work together to remove them. The more time these individuals spend together, and this is a fortunate thing, the less animosity there is. The younger generation, especially the down south, traditional Sureños, they don't have problems with Northerners. You know what I mean? They've never seen them in the neighborhoods. They haven't gangbanged against them. You know what I mean? YA's kind of being a thing in the past. You're not even catching them fades in YA no more. So they come into the prison system and see that it's all good. And North and South and the big homies from both sides are just coexisting, intermingling, and chilling together. My time, that was unheard of. And I see it as a great thing. You know what I mean? Because there is enough for everybody to eat. You know what I mean? There's enough problems within each group amongst their own people to never even have to extend that outside of a geographical border. Now, will the Bulldogs ever come into the fold? It don't look like it. You know what I mean? They've established their own entity, and they've been that entity for a long time and defended it. And it doesn't seem like either of the other sides care one way or another. about their existence. Who knows? In the federal system, it's optional for Bulldogs to program with the Northerners. Most choose to, from what I understand. Interesting, isn't it? It seems like a, like a catch-22 or whatever it might be, that in the federal system, North and South don't have an end of hostilities. But there's an end of hostilities with the Bulldogs in the federal system, which is the opposite of the state system. It's just really weird. I was talking to somebody the other day, man. I'm like, if I went to prison right now as a first termer, you don't even, it's so complex with all the different groups and designations of the yards and things like this. It'd be confusing, man. In my time, it was cut and dry, bro. North, South, white, black. I never seen no Bulldogs. They had them at Jamestown and one other prison. They didn't go nowhere else, unless they were like in the hole. If they got busted and they had to go to R&R in a different area, you know what I mean, and go through intake and all that kind of stuff. That's the only time that they'd ever be anywhere besides in other places. And I say this because this is a good thing. The end of hostilities, it started with the door policy. If the door policy didn't exist, that's the groundbreaking thing. Hey, if these police try to make us fight, whether on accident or on purpose, let's just stand our ground and show each other some respect, because we're not trying to fight because there's no reason to fight. End of hostilities. It's been amazing as far as the North and the South thing goes. And like I said, there's enough drama within each one's own perspective group, because there's still all kinds of violence. You know what I mean? But it's not perpetuating the North-South big homies thing. Which means in due time, if things continue to go the way they go, it somewhat can start leading to the streets. I don't know if that's soon or if that's far off, but it wouldn't take much. It would take definite directives from each side's big homies to cease all of that or face the consequences. That's all it would take. And as years go by, intermingling, coexisting, recognizing that everybody's the same, except for a geography and a couple different minute, philosophies, it could happen. It would just take a couple leaders to sit down and be like, hey, you guys got your thing, we got ours, let's coexist. And as a matter of fact, let's go on ahead and work together and be in sync with one another, make money with one another. Yeah, you guys got your thing and the way you do things, we got ours. We won't step on your toes, you don't step on ours, because there's power in numbers. You know what I mean? And that's what they've been avoiding a long time in prison, the administration. They don't want to see that. They don't want to see North and South and Bulldogs and Pisces all as one unit. Come on, bro. That's an ungodly amount of people, for one, and for two, a lot of power. You know what I mean? When you can direct that type of a group to stand up for their rights and stand up for what they believe in and not be abused by the system. So some of the things CDC has done has weakened them. Their stance, SHU programs, keep the violence going, overtime, DA referrals, more time, overtime, more workers, hire, build more prisons. And I think now the reason that they're trying to do this is because they realize their errors. Let's reintegrate these people back. If they can't get along, we'll validate them, etc., keep them locked down. That's going to lead to violence, people getting killed. But it's also going to have the North and the South working together for a common goal. It's interesting times. My point is, this video is more of like a conversation. It's not really, you know what I mean? Because it's weird to me. but I see a lot of positive on it. I don't like the administration, you know, trying to move these people when they know there's going to be violence, because people are going to have to do what they have to do. And that's going to get people some more time, and it's going to get people hurt. You know, and it's not going to be this all out slaughter like 300 on 300. It's going to be a busload of some dudes, active or inactive, going to a place where the other people don't welcome them, and they're going to get destroyed right off the bus. There's no way that they're going to do it all simultaneous and have that. They can't control that. So they're just setting up people to get injured, man. And it's weird to me. Prison nowadays is weird. It used to be so cut and dry. These are your enemies. This is what we got to do. These are prisons. You could go anywhere. You know, man, you could go to fire camp. You could go to level 1s, level 2s. You know, the only place you couldn't go was Mill Creek. That was the only place. And that was designed for chomos. Then they started bringing in really high powered people. And now it's just, hey, I'm scared. You know what I mean? I can't go out there. Everybody's doing it like it's the thing to do. Them guys severely outnumber the other guys. I mean, just look at, all you got to do is look at which yards are which yards, and you'll see. Now, most of them aren't no factor, but there is some that are still with the business just because they're ostracized from their gente. You know what I mean? So just a little, I don't know, man. Maybe some of you guys who just got out have some input. But to me, you know, having a J1 number, which when I first came in, they were like, God man, you got a J number, you JCat? It's actually an old number now, bro. I got that 1993. It's changed day and night, man, in these almost 30 years. You know, it seems like it would be a more volatile place with a higher propensity for violence because of the way they do things, mixing up people 50-50s, and you know, you're not supposed to program with these dudes or whatever. To me, it's crazy. Anyway, anybody who just got off the yard, man, in the comments, tell me, is it crazy? You know what I mean? Especially you guys who've been there a lot longer, you know, that may have started out your career in the 90s and are still there, might have just gotten out on a long-term bid. Because I'm trying to put a picture on the end game for the Department of Corrections, and I just don't see any kind of logic whatsoever. But what I do see is the North and the South continuing to advance in their relations. And that's a great thing, because I'm all for it. Anyway, this is just a quick one, man. This is more of just like a conversation. You know what I mean? It's not specifically a topic, but this is your boy Rojo. This is the Rojo Room. Have a great rest of your Monday.